Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Wellness Wednesday. I am coming to you not live today. I actually have another engagement where I am going to be in person. So therefore, I was like, well, I'm going to have to figure out this technology and pre-record. So if you're new here, I just want to say welcome. My name is Mia James, and I'm excited to talk to you about feminine finance. So welcome to Feminine Finance with Mia James. It's Wellness Wednesday, and I am super excited because today we're going to be talking about using your feminine superpower as the CEO of your finances. So, I have a couple of my favorite things that I want to share with you, and I won't be before you long, but I'm just really excited. So, let me show you first and foremost. This is what I started with. I started with a journal. Let's see if I can. I know I can do it. There we go. Voila. So this was a cool journal from one of my friends. It's More Than Just a Budget, and she's a financial therapist. And it's really awesome because there's a space in here for affirmations, gratitude. You can track spending in here. So if you like journaling, if you like to use like different color pens like I do, I'm like looking around for my pens. They're too far. I can't reach them, but I like to do different color pens, things of that nature. Because before I talked about having a date with your dollars, and I always recommend, getting your favorite drink, sitting down with your journal or something that you love, and really becoming intimate with your dollars, right? Because whatever you don't manage, you don't maintain. And so we talked about this before. The energy that you put towards everything is the energy that you get back. And so to me, it's super important that no matter what the appearances are in your bank accounts at this moment, you want to keep your mind focused on what you want the appearances to be in the future, because everything that is created actually starts in your mind. So if wealth is something that you want, it's going to start up here first. And I'm very, very fortunate. I'm going to turn this a little bit. I'm very, very fortunate in that I have an amazing wealth coach, and she is really all about mindset. And to me, if this is not right, we'll never see the physical manifestation of the wealth we desire and the wealth that we deserve. So, my personal opinion is that we are indeed the CEOs of our finances, right? And if I know you like I think I do, because everyone that I know, for the most part, they like to do everything that they do very well. And we can do hard things, right? And we face those challenges that are in front of us, right? So, with that being said, when we have a date with our dollars, and this is actually my book, okay, so it's almost ready for publication. This is my sample copy. And in here, we have a space on, let me see if I can find it really quickly. I should have labeled this beforehand. And you're actually, if you pre-ordered the book, you're going to actually get a workbook, a free workbook to go with it, because these are kind of small pages. But if you can see here, I have an area in here where you can document your expenses, right? And you can actually, because you'll get a fillable PDF, you can actually change your spending plan. I don't use the word budget, I use the word spending plan as things change in your life or as different seasons come. Sometimes you have graduations, you have weddings, you have holidays, different things where you may spend more money, or sometimes when you spend less money. And I recommend creating new spending plans as things change in your life. Because as the CEO of your finances, you want to tell your dollars where to go. And so for me, the first thing that I do is I actually dream, right? So that's where your journal comes in. And this is actually, these are two that I have, but I actually have like a regular journal. It's pink, of course. And in that journal, I write about, what do I want, right? And I talk about how much, what my balances are. I write them out as if that's what they already are. I talk about the different ways that I'm generating wealth, right? So like, let's just say you have multiple accounts, and you have an idea of how much you want that account to be one day. So you want to write that out in your journal, right? In whatever form. And if you get my book, it actually has journal pages in here for you to dream. So you can actually journal in here and start dreaming. There's actually the first chapter is all about goals and dreams. So I want you to dream big. I don't care if you're like, I want to make $1 million in a year. Totally nothing wrong with that. And to actually yesterday, my wealth coach said something super powerful that she was like, your business should not have something to the extent of your business should not have the pressure to bring your wealth, but your mind and what you create actually should bring the wealth to you. And like how your business is like your, passion project and something you enjoy. And I know for some people that might be like, well, how am I supposed to get this wealth? And her response to that was, that's God's job to bring the wealth. And I was just like, that is like spot on. Like it really resonated with me because I love my business. I love what I do and it does bring in revenue. However, I don't know. I'm not wedded to how God brings in the wealth. I mean, it could come from my portfolio, my stocks, it could come from real estate. I don't care where it comes from. However, I want to make sure that the labor of my hands, right? Or the creative abilities and things that I create and bring into the world, that it comes from a labor of love. And so just getting back to the feminine piece, number one, you want to make sure that you are writing out your goals and dreams. And I want you to dream, not just like practical, like I just want to be able to pay my bills, but I want you to write down that big, audacious dream because especially as we become adults, we kind of get away from that, you know, big audaciousness sometimes. It's just like, okay, I just need to make it and maybe have a little bit more, have a nice retirement. But what is it that your heart really desires? What is it that you want to pour all out before you leave this life? So I want you to dream and dream big. That I want you to let your heart lead you when you're writing out your goals and dreams. That's number one. And then number two, after you write out your goals and dreams, then I want you have to figure out how to visualize. Not figure out, I should say, how do you keep this vision that you have at the forefront of your mind, right? And if they say that if you really, really want something, it's easy to think about it and daydream about it all the time. So what I did this year, I created a mind movie. Now I have like a vision movie, a little vision board that I have like literally in front of me in my office. I have one as soon as I wake up in our bedroom, and then I have a big one, a big poster board in the living room in front of the couch, and then I have my mind movie, which I watch in the morning and at night for the most part. And then I have music with it because I don't know if you all know this, but music actually invokes emotion. So, I have this really upbeat song, and it says over and over, he keeps on blessing me over and over, and it's a really upbeat song. So I'm getting excited. I'm like, yes, he's blessing me over and over and over. And believe it or not, I have seen it's only March, and I have seen quite a few things from my movie to manifest. So it has been phenomenal. And then number three is once you have your dreams, you're visualizing daily, right? As often as you possibly can, things will start to move in your favor, right? If you take inspired action, okay? So that's number three. So first you have to have your dream and your goals that speak to you from your heart. That's where the feminine finance comes in. Number two, you have to keep it at the forefront of your mind. You want to visualize as often as possible so that it comes your way. Number three, you want to take inspired action because faith without works is dead. So not that you want to work as if everything depends on you, but you want to be in a place where you're able to receive that which you need to receive to make your dreams actually come true. And so, you know, for me, I'll just share one of my stories. Like one of my dreams was actually to work for myself 100% full time and to not have to work in the morning because I'm not a morning person and just kind of live life on my terms. And I have manifested that dream and it is phenomenal. I would not trade it for the world. You know, obviously, there are challenges that can come along with being self-employed. However, I'm like, I'll take this any day over having to be somewhere at 8 o'clock in the morning. Like, whatever. So let your heart speak to you. And then one day you're going to realize, like, wow, I'm living my dream right now. Like, I literally am living my dream. But because I kept visioning it, I can say the word, visioning it, and I kept it at the forefront of my mind and I took action toward making it happen. Now I have bigger dreams and goals because what I also realized is that I was playing small, y'all. Like I was just like, okay, well, I can do this. Like, but if I can do it in my own strength, then the vision is not big enough. And so now I'm challenging myself to expand the vision. Like, okay, what do you really want? And I learned about this wonderful exercise from a friend of mine. And it's basically where you ask yourself why 5 times. It's actually in my book, Think, Learn, and Feel Rich. You can get it at beyondthebusyness.com. And what you do is, okay, so say you want something. You ask yourself why. You write down the answer. You ask yourself why again. You do that 5 times. And eventually you should get down to the root of why. So for example, if someone says, you know, they want to make 6 figures in a year, they might say, you know, I want to be able to pay my bills. Okay, that's fine. Next. So they keep going. But then when you get to that last why, they may say something like, you know, I want to be able to provide private school education for my children. Like, you know, you want to get down to the real root. Or, you know, if someone says they want to have their own business, why they want to create the time freedom to be able to spend with their kids versus working all the time. So when you're thinking about what you want, you really want to understand the root of why. So when you are doing those actions, your why is such an anchor that no matter what challenges come your way, you will not be deterred. So that is the hard work behind feminine finance, is the dreams, the visualization, the inspired action, and the why. And then from there, going back to what we talked about in the beginning, being the CEO of your finances. And also, I will say that I will come back and check the chat and look at your comments. So definitely still comment because I definitely want to hear your thoughts. And I know I'm really like far into this now, so hopefully. um, but the other thing as a CEO of your finances, remember, think about a CEO, right? They are really there to drive profitability, right? And just lead. But they are not doing all the things. Okay. They are not the sales and marketing department. They are not HR. They're not doing all the things. They have help and support, right? They just have one main role as the CEO. So as a CEO of your finances, you have a main role is to make sure you have cash flow every month, which means that you have more money coming in after you pay your expenses. So as the CEO of your finances, one day I'm going to do a talk on this where I talk about my value-based spending ladder, because spending is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just about being intentional with your spending and deciding on how you spend and making sure that it's going to benefit you in the long run. And, you know, I'm very big on value. So like even the other day I did my finances on my birthday and I also did some finances today because I had an emergency. Okay. And I was not intending to spend that money on that, but at least I had the money. So I was just like, okay, praise God, moving on. So long story short, um, hopefully I can get my train of thought back. What was I saying? I was talking about, oh, being a CEO. So essentially, what you want to do is if you need help, like let's just say some people may not necessarily like looking at the numbers. I love it. Okay. So if you need help, get an accountability partner, get with a financial professional. But ultimately, I do want you to deal with any money traumas that you have. If you need any resources on money traumas, I can refer you to teachings from my wealth coach. I'm happy to drop links in the chat. So just put that in the comments and I can respond with that. If you need, I have an excellent workbook that I got um, on by a therapist and a PhD in finance about financial anxiety. Happy to drop that in the chat for you as well. So just let me know what you need around being able to have a strong relationship with your money. And really what it goes back to is how you saw money being dealt with in your environment. And so for myself, I saw a lot of different things going on with finances. Like as I look back over my childhood and everything, I didn't grow up poor. So I don't have that story. But I definitely saw, my parents had money, like literally money lying around. And and I'm not gonna say it was a lot of money or anything like that. I mean, I'm not really sure. I didn't count it, but I could definitely see it physically. And so there was money there. I did go to private school. I was fortunate in that way, all the basic needs were met. I was taught to pay my bills. But like I was telling my mom is a really great saver, and she learned that from her dad, but she never told us that. She never told my sister and I, like, oh, you should save money. I read about it in a book. Like, I didn't know. Um, and then, my my dad was like very generous with money. He was just giving it out, la la la. So I just saw different things. It was more observation than like, okay, this is what you do, this is why you don't. They also didn't use credit cards, and I had a whole issue with credit cards. Okay. So it's very interesting to kind of look back and do a deep dive. Like, okay, why do I feel this way about money? Right. Um, and then also understanding that money is a tool. So if you're a generous person, the more money you have, you're probably going to be more generous. If you're more, tight fisted with money, you're still going to, the more money you get, you're going to be tight fisted with it. So I would recommend also taking a deep dive in your money story. And if there's any money traumas that, if you've had any situations where money was involved that really hurt you, and just kind of begin to explore that in your journal. And there's definitely resources out there, of course. But yeah, that is what I wanted to definitely share with you all um on this live or pre-recorded, but let me know your thoughts. So the femininity part is really connecting with your heart when you are doing your financial planning. What do you really want out of life? What is going to make you feel great when it comes to your money? And even though you may not see it right now, if you have intentional purpose, if you have faith, if you believe and you're taking action towards it, it will come. And I'm speaking from experience. But if you're focused on the negative, what's not there, what's not working, that's going to come. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And so what I want for you is that good, feminine, creative energy that receives, because as women, we're designed to receive. And so I hope that you all receive wealth, blessings, and do the work that it takes in order for you to be the divine feminine that you were created to be. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to reading the comments. Take care.